Cancer. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late December 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Cancer collective in late December? And as I'm sure you can see, you got Kyle Claus this week, right? Feeling very festive. But let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a peek at. Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in late December. What's the vibe? What's the energy for my good friends? Let's get this card out nice and quick. There you go. Ask and you shall receive. There it is. Beautiful. So yeah, this is big picture thinking, and I've seen this for a couple other signs this week in particular, not so much right in the beginning. I love this card. It's very spiritual. It's very intuitively tapped in. But to me, I don't just think of today or tomorrow or next week when I see this. I think big picture life's journey. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the December subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this card. So, intriguing mixture of symbolism we got going on. We see this individual, looks like he's dancing through the clouds. There are all these doves or white birds that seem to be guiding this person along. Notice they're all holding a rope, so it's like they're guiding you, they're moving you. So first and foremost, I always think of spiritual protection with this. I view these as this person's spirit team, where they're kind of just bringing him along the journey. Even though he doesn't see him, he's looking down, they're always there. So that's always a beautiful, reassuring thing to see at the beginning of any reading, where your guides, your angels, your spirit team are like, Cancer, we are with you. Even if you don't see, even if you don't feel every second, we're here. And that's really reassuring, and it's a beautiful thing to have. Love the spiritual protection. But I always feel like this person is going on a journey. That's why I have this big picture thinking. Sure, it's action. Sure, it's forward movement. I think it's really great. For a lot of you, this could represent improvement in different areas of life. But it's like, all right, well, don't just think about now. Don't think about what's already happened. Maybe look ahead and take account of what you're going through right now and how it might affect your life moving further in a big picture way. So I'm not sure how that might apply to what you're going through. I think it's beautiful, it's spiritual, and it's very protected. So we're just going to let them keep doing what they do, right? Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Cancer in late December. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Yeah, really high-strung energy. Not saying it was definitely you. It could have been someone else. And that was another focus I've been seeing for several weeks now, is like a lot of other people's energy has been showing up in yours, which is kind of peculiar, but also not, right? Cancers are very in tune with those they care for. But yeah, the reading was titled They're Stressing. So it did feel wound up, a little anxious, a little on edge. So I'm hoping that wasn't you. But even if it was, we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Cancer. What do we got in late December? Quick, very first card pops out. I do like one shuffle or a half a shuffle. We get Lady Justice here. Cool. I'm not disliking it. Very karmic. Let's get her down right there. At least she's balanced, right? Or seems it. Let's get a couple more. What do we got for Cancer, please? In late December. Thank you. Okay. Interesting. All right, so we have like this yin-yang of energy going on here. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is really, really good. So we're going to get that tucked in right there. But we also have the Ten of Swords. So like I'm getting a lot of really good energy, but then we got that little bit of difficulty, and that's okay. Who knows what's going to clarify it? But it's like beginning, ending. Karmic. We have a whole cycle. So for a lot of you, you could be in a big transitional time, if that makes sense. Even if it doesn't feel like it, like the times you might be experiencing now, very much transformational. Now let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I like the mixture of elements we have, and I always feel like it's important to look at the elements. It tells us how things are moving, and you do have a lot of air, right? We got Lady Justice, that's Libra energy, air element. We got the Ten of Swords. Now, air is very intellectual, right? Like it's pragmatic, it's very strategic, it's a little stern, very serious, extremely smart. When I get a lot of air, it's a great time to take in information or learn new things. There's something here about mental stimulation. Now, with that energy we saw last week, that was a little high strung, and we have a little bit of air here. Just watch out for the overthinking, especially with an air heavy spread. But it's good for seeing things clearly. It's great for having clarity. The downside to air energy is that, yeah, sometimes it could be a little cold. It could be a little icy. It could be a little detached. So I'm not sure if there's something you're detaching from. We do have Earth in the center, which is much more grounding. So I like it here because it's like we're grounded right in the center. We got the balance, even though the Ten of Swords is present. So I feel like we're leaning positive, believe it or not. Earth represents the earthly realm. So think of our sense of security, our sense of balance, work, home, family, career, finances. All of that is in play when it comes to Earth. And usually it's very good and stable. The downside to Earth, it can feel a little bit stuck. So it's like we got maybe a little bit of lack of forward movement. Um, Watch out for feeling stuck in one way or another. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, Lady Justice. And as I already mentioned, the way this energy flows, I find very intriguing because we have her very karmic, very balanced, beginning, ending. It's like we're seeing a cycle here with just 3 cards, believe it or not. But I like Lady Justice, big Libra vibe, so maybe you're connected to a Libra. Even if you're not, she means a lot of different things. Now, I'll just run a little list of some things Lady Justice could represent. Sometimes it's decisions, choices, deciding if something is fair or not. Your sense of justice could be heightened in this time, where it's like, no, you know what, that's fair and balanced. I agree with that. Or no, that's way off. There could be certain things where like you're very good at spotting discrepancies, especially in this time. Lady Justice does tie into legalities, so anything contractual, anything you're signing, taxes, court things, anything that you're attached to legally, be very careful with it whenever Lady Justice is here. Her overall energy is fair, balanced. I usually think it's a great thing, so of course I'm going to like it. Now, the downside to her is imbalance, right? Sometimes she could also represent karmic energy. She's the biggest karmic card. So, as I've been saying, we have this transformational energy, this change based energy, and she does tie into that. So, she's going to be an important card for us to look at within the reading. Now, moving to the middle, there is something here that's like very fresh. We got the Ace of Pentacles, and we're going to get her tucked right back in there by the Amethyst. She could chill out. And I love all aces. To me, they all represent offers, opportunities, or communication. They're big for messages and talks. Ace energy is fresh and new, very similar to Pages. So whether this is a new perspective, a new idea, something new you're wanting to put your energy towards, whenever an ace is here, that's always great in my opinion. It's something that has a lot of potential. Now, again, for some of you, this might just be a conversation that you're about to have or that you've recently had. We just got to see. The downside to aces is they're not always guaranteed, right? Like there's a lot of potential, but it's not a foregone conclusion that something's going to happen. Sometimes when we have aces, we need to grab it. Sometimes we need to make it happen. So we want to take a look at it. Yeah, the ace, all aces could be a little flaky, a little flighty sometimes. So we'll see. But yeah, right here in the front, Lady Justice and Ace of Pentacles, I'm liking it. It's like, all right, yeah, cool. We're nice and balanced here. However, moving to the back end is where we start to see the first pressure point. We got the Ten of Swords. Now, this is a difficult energy, right? Anyone that knows tarot knows this is one of the more challenging cards. Doesn't mean we're going to throw the whole reading out. Doesn't mean you're going to have a terrible week. This could be a residual energy, but Ten of Swords can represent endings, an end of a cycle. So you see the cyclical. So we got the beginning, we got the ending. There's something here that's shifting and changing when I see all of this together. Ten of Swords could be pain, it could be betrayal, it could just be feeling like one is at rock bottom. So it's like a pretty low type of energy, and it does deal with a lot of pain, whether it's emotional or otherwise, or even mental. Uh, the good thing, because there is even a silver lining with this difficult card, if we're not looking at change or endings and all that kind of stuff, to me, it says there's nowhere to go but up. So when I see the Ten of Swords, it's like, okay, this is what it is. Now let's move forward. So it does have a silver lining attached to it, but it's just intriguing to me how the energy mixes this week because it's Not what I normally see when a Ten of Swords shows up. There's a lot of good potential. So I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for our good friends? My guide spirit team. What's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Lady Justice. We'll see what she has. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's see why Lady Justice is here. Why is she in the mix? I mean, there's been other signs that I've been picking up a little heavier karmic energy than usual. All right, this looks good to me. It does initially. This feels like a support structure or a support system. So if this is something that you don't have at the moment, this could be an energy that's coming in. Like, think of friends, think of people that you could lean on, think of people leaning on you. That could be a big possibility as well. So for some Cancers, don't be surprised if someone you're connected to might be going through an issue and they're like, hey, can you help me out with this? To me, it's a shoulder to lean on. That's initially what I'm picking up here. Now, all threes could represent any group dynamic. So whether it's family, friends, co-workers, you name it. Usually this one does tie into work and effort. But when I see Lady Justice with the Three of Pentacles, it's like, all right, yeah, no, everything's going good. Everything seems to be moving in the right direction. So even if you are going through some difficulties, even if it's like not all 100% great, not all 100% bad, to me, it feels like the overall energy that the Cancerians are moving through is on the right track. So I think that's really nice. Now, we do want to take a look and see if any more things about group dynamics show up within this reading, but I feel like we're at a good start, and this does feel like a support system to me. So if you're feeling isolated, if you're having a rough go of it, if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. That's something I want to give to the Cancer Collective. Lady Justice and the Three of Pentacles, it's like, all right, well, if you need help with anything, it's there if you need it. Like, don't be afraid to ask. Let's keep going. So something here about a support system, support structure, which I think is a good thing. So let's go in on the Ace of Pentacles. I'm not going to say the karmic energy is completely out of the mix yet, because we still have this cycle energy. But let's see why the Ace of Pentacles is here. Hopefully it's a good thing, right? Thank you. Okay. Yeah, you brought something in. Big manifestation coming your way. Okay, so we do have the Magician in the upright, ties heavily into spirituality, ritual, manifestation, you name it. It's a huge card of control. And when I catch it in the upright underneath Ace of Pentacles, it's like, oh no, something's coming in. Like you ordered this one. Like you wanted it for a while, and here it comes. Like it's giving me that type of vibe. Now that could be a lot of different things, right? There's a lot of Cancers out there going through a lot of different situations, work, personal, you name it. But Ace of Pentacles with this Magician, it's like, oh no, I'm bringing it to me. Something's on its way. So hopefully this is a good thing that you've manifested. Now, I'm a big believer that we're all creator beings. We always are manifesting, whether we know it or whether we don't, from the second we're born until the second we finish our journey. But to me, this does feel a little bit more purposeful, where it's like, you wanted it, here you go, Cancer. So that's a good thing. For a lot of you in this time right now, could be a great time to put your intentions out there, make those vision boards, do the lists. Like there's just something here about putting your intentions out there, because the universe is listening. And we've had this huge energy of the spiritual around you, more so than normal. So I think this is great. Now, another thing with the Magician, it could sometimes represent control. So when I see it in the upright underneath this Ace of Pentacles, if this is a conversation or a talk that pops up, whether it's for business, whether it is for personal relationships, Spirit might want you to take a very controlled, structured approach. So any communications, professional or personal, it's like, all right, take a controlled approach, maybe limited to certain things. I don't know why that's coming through, but let's just keep going. Let's keep going. I love the manifestation that's coming in. I love the magnetic energy. But let's see why the Ten of Swords is here, because that's the big thing I've been eyeing up since it popped out. And we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Ten of Swords here? It's not a good time of year for the Ten of Swords. I don't like when that shows up around this time. Let's see. You know how life can be sometimes, all right? Better. Not healed, but better. I like it. So we do have the sun in reverse underneath the Ten of Swords. For a lot of you, there could be a lot of things that start clicking and making sense in this time, like lots of realizations and internal revelations where it's like, now I get it. Now it makes sense. Like, so just know whatever subjects you're dealing with, there could be a lot of like revelations coming to you. Now, whether that's information coming out, whether it's you connecting the dots by yourself, I feel like information being revealed or things making sense, dots being connected. Now, for another portion of you, I just have to say the sun itself, Leo energy, it is the most positive card in the whole entire deck. This is what we want to see. Even in reverse, like it came out in, it is still positive to me. So when I see it under the Ten of Swords, if you've experienced an ending recently, if you are going through some pain, still processing something, still healing from something, when I see the Ten of Swords with the sun in reverse, it's like we're not there yet, but we're getting better. Might not be out of the storm completely, but I could see where the storm breaks, which I think is really good. So, specifically for those of you Cancers that have been going through something really difficult or a big one, this is actually a good thing because it's like, all right, well, you might be through the worst of it, you're almost out of it, it's almost come to completion. Not quite yet, though. Almost. We're getting there. We're making progress. That's what I really like here. So I'm feeling very optimistic, and I think there are some aspects of this that are very, very claimable for the Cancer Collective. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number one. Cool. We have Lady Justice and the Three of Pentacles. I like how that feels. It feels like a support structure, a support system. So if you're going through a tough time and you need a little help with something, don't be afraid to ask for it. Like you probably have it available to you, even if you don't realize it. If you have a support structure, lean into it. If you don't have one, it's probably coming your way soon. So I like the supportive energy. Moving to the middle, something you manifested is on its way. We have the Ace of Pentacles with the Magician. This is more like clarification that the universe has received your order. So in this time, like purposely put intentions out there of how you want things to go, how you decide them to go, and how they show up in your life. Because it's like the universe is listening to you, Cancer. Beautiful thing, huge manifestation. On the back end, we have the Ten of Swords with the Sun in reverse. Now, this time there could be a lot of revelations, realizations, whether it's information coming out or just within yourself, where dots start to connect and things are starting to make sense. And for another portion of you, especially those of you going through a very difficult time or healing a very difficult wound, we're almost there. Like it's not ideal. It's not like you're getting out of the storm. So I like the progress. That's the thing I love about this. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Cancer? Nice and quick. Okay, yeah. All right, so that reaffirms some things for us. We got the Two of Pentacles, very similar energy to Lady Justice. It's always the picture of that dude who's kind of like balancing or juggling those two pentacles. So I love the balance. I love the equilibrium. I like things coming into a state of flow. That's the positive of this. However, when it shows up in the shadows, some Cancers out there, you might feel like you're on shaky ground when this card is here. For another portion of you, you might just be dealing with a lot. Whatever situations, it could be heavy, or like your head is in a lot of different places when this card shows up in its shadow form. But with the theme we've seen throughout the whole reading itself, this showing up in the shadows is actually a good thing to me because I like how things seem to be balancing off in a proper direction. So I think that could be a good thing. Just don't be too hard on yourself when this card is here. Be kind to yourself. We're just going to put it down right there, Cancer. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details, the December subscriber surprise. If you would like further clarification on your situation, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My December schedule is live right now, and the spots go quick, so go check it out, see what's available if you want to have a chat with me. But for the December subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks for all skill levels, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you resonate with most? When you see it in a reading, it's like, yeah, that's me. Put your answer in the comments. You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.